Hey guys, Lord Nitrum here from Space Pirate Productions. Recently I joined a TPPI2 server, and I've been playing through the Botania mod as part of this. I know Botania mod is part of other mod packs, but I've never really got into it, so this is pretty much the setup I have here, and here's my castle I found in this village. I'm starting to slowly go around and update everything, make it look nicer. I've grown my crops, I've made a smeltery attached to this building here, and I've just been setting up really basic things, including my castle here, which I'm still redoing the design of it so it doesn't look so basic and cobbly. I do have some basic machines, one basic capacitor, very basic machines over here from Ender.io and Thermal Expansion. These are being powered by Botania itself, so I've made what I'm calling my Water Tower of Power version 3 here. Pretty happy with this so far. It is filling up the mana spreader just as fast as it can shoot it out, and it makes a pretty nice amount of mana. At least for what a basic spreader can handle. It can barely handle all the mana that it's getting, so it's right at that limit. I do have an idea for version 4 of how I can compress this down, make it even better, add more flowers, but what we'll have to do is we'll have to wait to see what that's like when I can create Elven spreaders using an updated Lexica Botania. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build up to open up the gateway here so I can toss the book through and get that knowledge. So everything's set up here for the gate. It looks nice and pretty. We just gotta start filling up these mana pools, and we will need 2 Natura, Natura Pylons. So we'll have to make those. We'll have to make 2 regular Pylons, which do cost some diamond and gold materials. Not particularly cheap, but also not particularly expensive, really. I do have 1 terrastol ingot I've made over here on our platform, so I've been reserving that to create the pylons, so we'll probably get that done today. We'll go make the pylons in a minute here. So this is pretty much the brief tour. There's not much I'm doing with some of these buildings. They're either empty or just have villagers inside. There is 1 villager I've got captured in here because he will trade me emeralds for fish, which makes it for a really easy method of getting emeralds, really. Over here I'm starting up a that's not spelled right, but it is under renovation. I'm starting up a little witchery area. I've never used witchery either, so that will be fun to play with as we go along. And this is, as I said, on a server, so we do have a community hub we can go to. We can go visit other people. My friend Wraithlet is on here. He's a personal friend of mine. You might see me chat with him every once in a while. I'll either refer to Wraithlet or Tim in the chat if I talk to him on the server. He is on literally the complete opposite side of the world map right now. So luckily we have these books. We can just travel back and forth to each other through the community hub. We'll also see Ryan, aka Chinson, or Heinbot as his Minecraft name is, come in every once in a while and play with us. He's a member of Space Pirate Productions, so we'll have him on voice chat every once in a while. He'll come in and I'm going to show him the ropes. So for anyone not familiar with Botania, we'll probably cover the basics of how all of this was made, so don't worry if none of this looks familiar. We'll get to that eventually. I don't want to backtrack right now. I want to make some forward progress. I've kind of been holding off on doing anything else today. I wanted to record myself opening up the gate and, really expanding the Botania knowledge and what we can do with everything here. Once Ryan gets on, we'll show all the basics of that, how to get started on Botania, how to make generating flowers, things of that nature, because he is unfamiliar with not just Botania like I am, but he is actually unfamiliar with everything in this pack. Whereas I know things such as thermal expansion and Ender IO. He has not played Minecraft in about 2 years. He's really been into World of Warcraft for the past 2 years, so he hasn't been on Minecraft in a long time, and he's never used any sort of mod pack launcher or giant mod pack. So when he gets in, I think it's going to be fun and interesting to have someone on here that we can have a real chat back and forth of, you know, recording the whole knowledge transfer session of not only teaching him what I do know, but also what we can learn together. And this is going to be one of those areas once he gets on. Like I said, I'm not familiar with Botania. I haven't watched any videos on it. I've just been using the Lexica Botania to accomplish all of this. Alright, so as stated, we're going to go ahead and make some Natura Pylons now. So I'm going to go access my secret stash of materials that are a bit harder to find. Over here I do have a chest dedicated to Botania, and I do have some materials in here and miscellaneous items in here, but I keep all the harder to get stuff in a secret chest for the time being. So I'm going to go access that. I'm not going to show it because, as I said, we are on a server, and I don't want to run the risk of anyone seeing where I hide my goodies. Alright, so we have 4 gold, 2 diamond, and a terrasteel ingot. So that will be good to get us going now. We just need 4 iron ingots. And we'll head over here and we'll start tossing stuff in here. Toss those in, and we'll toss these in. So now we have mana steel and mana diamonds, and as you can see, this is going to just start immediately refilling that mana pool, and it's going to fire constantly until it is complete. These were completely full as it was. This one's not going to be as active. It's mostly collecting from these flowers. But oh boy, this will go non-stop if it gets the chance. It is never-ending mana right there. Really nice. Alright, so now that we have our 4 mana steel, our 2 mana diamonds, and our 4 gold, we can go ahead and we can create our first pylons. Let me see if I can remember the recipe offhand. Nope, switch it around. Ah, there we go. Alright, so we got 2 mana pylons. Let's see, I believe it was like this. Ah, there we go, Natura Pylons. And for those who don't know how to make a terrasteel ingot, we can cover that in a minute. I guess I should have grabbed more material. I can show how that's done. We'll eventually get to that, if not today. It is definitely useful for creating tools and armor and other such things. It's of course an upgrade from mana steel, although it is very green, so it depends on if you want to be very green or very blue. If you don't mind being very green, then it is definitely an upgrade in protection. Alright, so we got these up, and now what we need to do is fill these mana pools with mana. Luckily, I already have a full mana tablet. Oh. And that just repaired my armor and tools, which is a good thing to note about having mana, armor, and tools. As long as you have some sort of mana storage device on you, whether in your hotbar or inventory, or even a mana ring which you can wear that stores mana, then your tools and armor will constantly repair themselves, which is great if you have tons of mana incoming and don't want to spend more materials converting them into mana steel or terrasteel. Always good to make sure that those get recharged and they won't fade out on you. One other important thing I forgot we will need is our Wand of the Forest. Alright, so that's accepting from items and that's accepting from items, so we will go ahead and toss it in here. Uh-oh, fell out. It's not gonna make it easy on us. It really doesn't want to stay in there. Let's see if we can... There we go. That's in the way. Alrighty, so there it goes. It's transferring all the mana from the tablet into the mana pool. It's going to take a little while here. And then what we'll do is once the tablet's empty, we'll come over here to this mana pool, our active one, and we'll grab pretty much all the mana out of there and put it into this secondary mana pool. It is important to know, as you can read in the Lexica Botania, when you create the portal, it is going to take a lot of mana to start up, more so than it takes to keep it running. So you can read all this in the book, but essentially what we might want to do is find some way, maybe turn this spreader over here and just keep powering up the mana pool so that it doesn't run out, because if it shuts down, it is quite a lot of mana to start it back up, but actually leaving it on is not nearly as much mana as it would take to start it up. Alright, so now our mana tablet's empty. We're going to make sure this is sparing mana to items, so we'll just... Oh, come on. Oh no, haha, it was on there. Alright, so as you can see now that mana tablet is grabbing mana from the mana pool. We can sit here and it's going to drain it pretty fast. It's taking it out in huge chunks, but we can also see, like I said, since this mana pool is now being emptied out, this is going to be firing off constantly these bursts of mana to fill it back up. Oh wow, that is completely full already. And that pool is halfway full. Okay, I see. You lied to me. I thought you were full. So, even though this is going to take a lot of mana to start up, and it takes mana to keep it open, what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to at least start the gate, and then I'm going to throw the book through, because right now the important thing is I want to be able to read some of that sweet, sweet Elven knowledge. I've pretty much hit a good point to upgrade the book, because as I said, I cannot get any more mana through these spreaders. They are working at 100%. I mean, that buffer is almost always full on that thing. So if I'm going to upgrade to my idea for version 4 of my Water Tower of Power, I'm going to definitely need some Elven mana spreaders. This is not going to cut it. And once we're able to do that, we will easily be able to reopen the gate should it shut down. Ah, see? You looked full, but you weren't. Ha. You lied to me. Uh-oh. We missed. There we go. Okay. So this is all set up here. It looks pretty. It really does. These are pretty cool. So now what we do is we have this ring. These corner blocks, by the way, are just carpenter blocks. This is to make it look nice. These aren't really necessary, but they do make it look a little bit nicer. What this is comprised of is some living wood with glimmering living wood, which is living wood combined with 2 glowstone dust in this formation here, and instead of glimmering wood at the bottom, instead you have the Elven Gateway core. And again, all of this is in the Lexica Botania, so you can see it tells you how to make the core, which is terra steel surrounded by 8 living wood. And then of course, like I said, you need living wood in this pattern filled in with that glimmering living wood, and then the core at the bottom. Once that's complete, and once we have our mana pools and pylons up, we can click on this. Click on this. Uh-oh. And now something's gone wrong. So let's see what we need to start this up. It requires a substantial amount of mana deposited in both the pools to open up. I'm wondering if we need to completely fill up the pools with mana, or if there's a particular distance that the mana pools need to be from the gateway. It's not too clear. And that's part of the fun of this, is it is going to be, like I said, a learning process, especially for myself. I am not familiar with Botania. So we'll let that fill back up, and while that does that, I'm going to have a drink. Alright, so I've once again done what I am now calling the mana pool shuffle, where I transfer mana about from these pools up to that pool, into using the tablet, filling the tablet up. I mean, it's a whole back and forth of removing it, putting it in here, moving the pool out, putting it back, and doing the same with the other one. So that took about 8 to 10 minutes. Not all that exciting, but seems to be necessary. Hopefully this gets it going, and voila, that was it. So there we go. Feels good to be done with that finally. Very satisfying feeling, and it's actually it's not draining all that fast. It is draining quite a bit. It looks like that startup took a little bit out of the pool. I thought it was going to be more drastic than that. It doesn't seem to be, though. So now what we'll do is we will throw our book into the portal. And it came out the other side. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, look at that. It is Elven now. Oh, look at this. We got all sorts of stuff in here. All this new stuff written in green. Do we have anything here new? Oh, here we go. Elven mana spreaders. We can finally start making these. Oh, look at that. Oh, so we will need the portal open if we're going to make some of these things. So we'll have to be sure to keep this fed. Looks like it's not drawing nearly as much as I was expecting. But what we'll do is we'll just redirect this. Why is it not? It's not redirecting. What mode am I in here? There we go. Put it into function mode. We'll face it at that mana pool. And that'll just make sure that when we log off, it's not going to disappear overnight on us. Man, I'm so glad that that's done now. I do want to dress this back up, though. Oh, nope. So I'm just gonna make this look all nice and pretty here. Move a few things. Too high. Oh, fell again. All right. And we'll just make some living rock brick here, just to kind of make the area look a little bit nicer. Fill in some of this here. Alright, well that's quite the sight there. That's pretty nice. Alright, and we will put our stairs back, even though it's not something you walk through. It is something you walk up to, I suppose, but I suppose that looks good. Alright, and we'll see how this is holding up. Alright, so this is actually gaining mana. This isn't losing anything. I think we'll be okay with this. I think this is going to hold up for quite a while. Or it might be a matter of maybe everything that passes through uses up mana every time we use the portal itself. Oh, and here we have Dreamwood. Okay, so that's living wood just through the gate. Have all sorts of things here we can make. Surprised that's not under basics. We don't seem to have any other basics. Let's see. Oh, we have new flowers for generation. New functional flowers. Oh, here we go. Conjuration with mana. So this works a lot like the alchemy catalyst. What we would do is put it underneath the mana pool here, and we'd essentially be able to duplicate certain items at the cost of mana. I'm not sure how we get pixie dust. Oh, look at that. You just throw a mana pearl into the gate. Alright. Well, that was fun, but I think I'm going to have to call it a night. It is getting quite late where I'm at. Figuring this all out was taking up a little bit of time moving everything around, getting everything set up right. It definitely helps to pay close attention to the book. So when you go ahead and you make this yourself, note carefully that they have this checkerboard pattern here for a very good reason, to help you notice the spacing of everything and plan that out. That way you don't end up doing what I did and having to switch everything around several times. It would be nice if they said that the way you place these things was very specific, but you know, it's just a matter of figuring it out sometimes. But life moves on, and we'll be back for another session next time.